All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about PHA. Follow Network. What is Follow Network? What are they looking to do? All right, so basically what they are is a privacy, not a privacy coin, but basically trying to be a data privacy network. So how this works, so it's basically like this. I explain it to people like this. So if you're able to still transact with the network with a Ledger hardware wallet, correct? Well, no one's going to respond to that unless you want to respond in the comments. But basically how it works is, okay, you have a ledger. The ledger sends out a source of codes, basically initiating, saying, look, the transaction is going through, sends a transaction, and the network says, oh, transaction is coming in, boom, get the data. The exchange or the wallet that you're sending it to does not have the information from the ledger, nor does the ledger have the information on the exchange, so the private keys are separate, but they're shared through a public key. That's how I can explain this process to people about the Fala network. Epic. Yeah, I know you guys are looking at that like, what the pants? That's the goofiest thing I've ever seen. Well, anyways, guys, they aren't spending a bunch of money on marketing, but obviously, not obviously, but in my opinion, I don't feel it's a pump and dump because why would Gavin Wood back it? Why would he offer the Web3 Foundation? Why would they give him a grant? They have a lot of founders. If you guys want to see who they have founding it, here they are. Hitting on being a Web 3.0 community driven network. So Web 2.0 was internet boom crazy, but big time centralized. So you got Han Yin, co-founder and lead developer. Guy was at Google, so keep that in mind. Marvin Tong, Zi Wang, Jun Zhang. Guys, no offense to the Chinese, but it sounds like you throw a ball at a pan or drop a pan and whatever noise it makes, well, that's their name. Hey, it's okay. That's just what it sounds like. Like, for example, for Americans, it's like, what the pants? Where did you come up with that name? Anyways, so you got Sandro Gorjulis, Dr. Sufan Zhao, Dr. Gustan Shamaruk, Loose War, Golden Fierro. Basically, they're looking at privacy. That's why I'm assuming they're blacking out the eyes, etc. But look, Web 3.0 Foundation, Polkadot, Kusama, Parody. Parody is also Gavin Woods. Akala, Mask, Plasma, Crust. I like Crust. Pizza Crust. So you guys can see the different people integrated. You guys can also join the Telegram. Obviously, they are a Chinese base because this is for WeChat. But yeah, let's go ahead and get through some of the nitty gritty on this project. Go ahead and explain what is the Fala network. So let's hit on the tokenomics. First, $35 million market cap. Let's refresh the page. Now it's a $32 million market cap. And the circulation supply is 142 million out of 1 billion. So they are on a little down tier. They're actually on a massive pump right now. So it's the opposite. You can get this on Uniswap, Huobi Global, MXC. This is basically a Chinese exchange. This is a Chinese token. So you guys are like, Fala, why Fala? Well, so it is basically the meaning of Fala is like the result of something. So say for example, You know how karma works. You do good to others, and good usually comes back to you. You do bad to others, same thing. So that's how they take with Fala. In fact, that's what the CEO said. So, what is Fala? Or the co-founder, I'm sorry, not CEO. Fala, the key to the world of privacy. Let me go ahead and just play the video.
All right, so the first topic is about privacy. So I believe this is the core value of Web3 because your privacy, you have already when you're using the products offered by the tech companies, you have already handled your privacy to the big companies. So here is a sentence I took from the Polkadot light paper. Data is becoming a resource more valuable than oil, and we are giving it up for free with no choice but to trust that it won't be lost, stolen, or misused. Actually, this is how the data is. This is how the data is collected and used by the product you use every day. So let's say how is the data used in the internet nowadays. As a user, the companies will collect your data, and the data collected is owned by the company. So they just store your data in their database. So you have no other choice because there's no other options. You have to use the products offered by the tech companies. But is it reliable? If it's reliable, maybe you're not going, you will not hear any news about data breach. So in 2018, Facebook, there are like 50 million users' data leaked, and in 2019, the Marriott have leaked 500 million users' data. So that's horrible. But how can we fix it? Now we're talking about collect and manage the data in a Web3 space. But how can we fix it? I think first of all, we shouldn't let the company to own your data. Instead, we should have something. We still don't know what can be used here. But you can just imagine there is a trustless black box can help you handle your privacy data magically. So basically, if we have such black box, we can use it to collect and manage the data. So when any company or any people want to use your data, they just request the access of your data from that black box. So if we somehow have a black box to manage your data, maybe this can be solved. But how can we? What kind of technology can be used here? I think first is that you should have an idea that the data is not very easy to handle because the data is too easy to copy. So as long as it's handled by a human, you don't really know what the human will do with your data. They can just copy your data and store it somewhere, maybe misuse it, maybe it could be stolen, and you have no idea. But to make it trustless, maybe you will think about something like smart contract. But the bad news is that nowadays all the blockchains, everything on the blockchain. Of course, you can use a smart contract to run your business, right? But everything on the blockchain is transparent. So if you use a smart contract, it means that you can't deal with privacy. So how can we solve it? So that is something we call confidential smart contract. So it's like a smart contract, but we can make it possible to handle confidential information. It means it's just like a smart contract on Ethereum or other blockchains, but it can handle secrets. So this is what we are building. So in Fala network, we're building a blockchain with some technologies that implements confidential smart contract. With confidential smart contract, your input, output, and also the intermediate states are all encrypted. So as long as you are not authorized by the smart contract, you will not be possible to access any data in the smart contract. But in the first section, I'm not going to talk a lot about the details, how we implement confidential smart contract, because it's too technical. So I will leave this to the section 2. So now we just assume we have a magical confidential smart contract platform, so we can use it to help us to collect and manage the data. But the problem is how the data is collected. Where is the data? There are a lot of ways to collect the data, but the first stop is something called analytics plugin. So if you are a webmaster, if you run websites, I guess probably you are very familiar with Google Analytics. So actually, Google Analytics is the biggest analytics tools for you. It's free. It can help. It helps you to measure your daily active user, the page views, the session duration, so that you know how many users are using your website and how this user what they are doing on your website. So this is a very, very fundamental data collection plugin, and it's really useful for your business. But this is centralized, you have no idea how Google Analytics will use your data. Maybe it will be collected to like help the Google Ads platform to push some ads to your customers, and maybe someday there will be a data breach. But actually, the funny thing is that we have investigated the top 20 the top 20 market cap blockchain projects. So this is the so-called Web3 space. So even this decentralized project, all of them are still using the centralized data collection plugin. 95% of these projects are using Google Analytics. So do they really want to use the centralized solution? I don't think so. It's just because there's no replacement. They have no other choice. So to solve the problem, I'm introducing our project, Web3 Analytics. So in Web3 Analytics, it is an infrastructure to help you manage, collect, and analyze the privacy data. First of all the data collected by the Web3 Analytics will be stored in a trustless, decentralized storage, and is end-to-end encrypted. Only the user have the access to the data. And besides the user, the confidential smart contract, well, assuming we already have such infrastructure, so if we want to analyze the data, all the analysis will be running as a confidential smart contract. It will be running on a trustless platform, so the user will be able to audit and check if the confidential smart contract is actually analyzing the data or use the data in an authorized way. So the user will be able to control if a certain confidential smart contract can be used to analyze their privacy data. We will also offer a privacy data console for the user, so the user can manage, authorize, and delete all the collected data. It will just like if you're using iPhone or Android, there is in the setting page, there is a page allowing you to check the privacy settings, so you can like turn on and turn off the geolocation and maybe push notification, but we extend it for all the data collected by the website. So it's just like as easy as using a smartphone to control your how your privacy data is collected and used. So as a result, users get 100% control over their privacy data. So here is screenshots of our developer dashboard. So on the dashboard, as a developer, you will want to integrate Web3 Analytics to your website. It's just as easy as using Google Analytics. So you just spend like 1 minute to make the integration, and I'm going to demo it soon. And also we will offer a personal data console for the user side. So as a user, if you are visiting a website integrated with Web3 Analytics, you can use the personal data console to audit, to manage, and to review how your data is used. So it's demo time. Here is the developer dashboard. So as you can see, we already have a website and there is already some data. But I'm going to start from creating a new integration. Let me make it larger. Okay. So I can add a product. So in the add product page, you will need to enter the domain of your website. So for example, web3analytics.thala.network. Web3 Analytics. So this is the description of Web3 Analytics. And also, so in the demo, it will ask you to enter the Thala account. Actually, it is the Thala. It is the blockchain address. But in the demo, because we use the Mock backend, because we are still working on the decentralized backend, so now we're using Mock backend. So we can enter anything here. Next. All right. So it shows a snippet of scripts. So it's just if you have some experience using Google Analytics or other analytics tool, you will also have a similar step. You will need to copy this code snippet and insert it into your website. It's just as easy as copy and paste. So yeah, we can just do it in just 1 minute. Because this is a mock the backend, so we don't actually insert it into a website. So we'll just click. All right, this is the. As you can see, I have switched to the website we just created. So as you can see in the dashboard, it's just like your favorite Google Analytics in Web 2.0 space. So you can see your active user, you can see the views, the trend, user retention, and the users by time of day. Also the page view, and even the geolocation. But so far so good. But what makes it different from a Web 2 analytics tool? Here is the difference. there's a tab called Template Manager. So instead of offer you all the features just like the Google Analytics, you will need to configure it, what kind of data you're going to collect and how you will use it. So we have defined this analysis as a few smart contract. So if we click Add, you will see there are already a few predefined smart contracts. There are real-time users, page views, visited users, like that. And I click OK, so it will be added to your website. And you can always cancel some of the analysis if you want. And when you add any contract, you will also need to adjust your user agreement or privacy policy. So each predefined analysis will come with a user agreement. But in this demo, we didn't have the content. But in the real product, it will show the generated user agreement. So you will copy this paragraph and paste it into your user agreement. User will need to agree that before using your product. Okay, so because the user will have the power to, they will have the right to turn on or turn off each analysis. So there is a authorization rate. So if, for example, if all the users agree to collect this kind of data and can show the analysis result to you, the authorized rate will be 100%. But for example, if half of the users don't agree to be collected, then it will be like 50%. So this is the developer dashboard. And what about the user side? So as a user, I will have something called the personal data console. So as a user, as you can see, there are already 4 projects integrated with Web3 analytics. That is Phala Network, Pilibra, Web3, W3C groups. And let's just check one of the websites. So I can manage the data. For example, I can manage the data used by Pilibra. In the manage page, you will be able to see how the data is collected. For example, the page visit and the time and which tag, which metadata is collected. And of course, all the data is collected and encrypted end-to-end and stored in a decentralized storage. So without your permission, without your authorization, nobody can access it. And you can download the data, of course. And you can also remove some data. For example, if you just think today I don't want my data, the data generated today to be collected or used by any third party, you can select all the data generated today and click remove. So it will be removed and nobody will be able to access it in the future. And of course, it will also be possible to check how the data is used by the website. Oh, oops. I clicked something bad. Okay, so we need to wait a minute. Yeah, and of course, besides you can see the data collection history, you'll also be able to manage the authorization. So in the authorization manager, you can see how your data is used by the website. For example, in this page, it shows there are a few stats and a few behavior data is collected. You can always cancel the authorization as you want. And at the same time, because each analysis will come with a paragraph to describe how the data is used, you can also audit the code. So so the code is deployed on the Phala network. So you can check if you want. You can check if the description actually match the smart contract implemented on the Phala network. But in this demo, because this is just a conceptual demo, so we don't have the actual code deployed. All right, so let's come back to the presentation. So this is basically a very simple demo of the developer console and also the personal data console. So with Phala Network, we built we built the Web3 analytics to help you control your privacy data in a trustless way. That is achieved by making a decentralized and trustless service to collect and help you manage the data. And if anyone wants to use your data, you will need to authorize it before, so you get 100% control over your data. And that is built on top of Phala Network. Phala Network implements confidential smart contract. So you can build the data management infrastructure and deal with the privacy data on a blockchain. This is the biggest difference with Phala Network and other existing blockchains. And of course, we're very proud to be a member of Web3 ecosystem. So this is the overview of Web3 analytics and Phala Network. So so now do you understand what is Phala Network? What is Web3 analytics and Phala Network? All right. So far this is the first section. I'm going to check the
epic video, right? Anyways, we'll play the rest of the video towards the end so you guys can see exactly how it works straight from the horse's mouth. I think that's what the saying is. Yeah, something like that. All right, so let's go into just a quickie on this so you guys can understand what this is a little bit, so you guys aren't like, what in the world? I did get this the Telegram or from the Telegram chat. This is straight from the horse's mouth. So this is what the tokens are used for. Well, they're used in the miners ecosystem. TEE miners with equipment need to stake the PHA tokens. Well, you do need that for mining. So, for example, when you're mining in the network, you have to stake. It's like 1,200 or 12,000 Phala tokens. We'll get into that in the white paper. But in order to actually participate in the mining, you have to have a stake. Obviously, in the future, that's going to be changed. But in the beginning, in order to mine, you have to provide that stake. The Polkadot community uses the PHA tokens to decide what privacy function they will need on Polkadot. So this is going to be integrated with Polkadot. And they did get a Web3 donation from them. And who's the owner of the Web3 donation or the Web3 Foundation? Well, yours truly, Gavin Wood. Gavin Wood is the creator of Polkadot. So you guys can see the different things it's used for right there. I don't really need to read it to you. So here's the distribution. 5% is a team reward, 15% is a token sale, 1% for testnet, 9% for airdrop. So most of this is going to go out for mining. Guys, all you miners out there, this is how the release is going to be for the miners. It's like a Bitcoin supply or Bitcoin release curve. Just goes down over time, and these are in months. So after about 12 months, we are going to get a massive supply coming into here. What is that? 140 million? So let's say, yeah, crazy. Just a lot. Don't even have to measure it. So how to get PHA right now? Well, you can go on Uniswap. Here's some of the exchanges. You guys can see them. Also, they did have an airdrop if you held the Kusama tokens. If you did not get it and you're staking those Kusama tokens, make sure you go get those. All right, so we're going to go over the token economics. So you guys may be a little bit confused, like, why in the world do we need this? What is the point of it? Okay, so think about it like this. So you go on Facebook, and Facebook has all of your data, and you just decide, I'm going to pull the plug on Facebook and not going to use it anymore. Well, good luck with that, because Facebook basically has all of your data. It's already sold to Google, every other website, every other company that uses your information in order to sell you a bunch of junk. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, just turn your head to the right or left and then see some random object just sitting on the table or next to you and like, why did I buy that? Yeah, you got advertised to and you were persuaded into buying it. So that's the concept of why your data is important. So yeah, you get Google for free, you get Gmail for free, you get Google Analytics for free if you're a company for your website, but it's free with a cost. They're taking your data and selling it to people. So for website owners, if you use Google Analytics for your page, being able to track information, say, oh, okay, this customer bought this, this, and this, and this, and this customer visited here. They clicked on this page a couple times. Well, how do you know Google isn't tracking your customer and getting their information and selling them junk? See, you guys don't know that because everyone basically uses Google. In fact, 86% of the top 20 blockchains use Google. They use that for their website as well. I mean, guys, I thought cryptocurrency is decentralized. It seems like they're backing it with a centralized authority or with a centralized network. This is where Phala comes into play. And it's also going to be integrated on Polkadot. Polkadot, decentralized. Nothing's better than that. Well, actually, decentralized is actually something that's decentralized. Now, something that is a centralized, decentralized blockchain, that's really just centralized if you think about it. Crazy stuff, weird stuff. I don't know. Anyways, leave it in the comments below if you guys are already confused. But basically what you guys need to know is this allows you to pull the plug. So you can also look at it like this. So you go on an app store or download an app and you have to allow it to have access to your microphone, access to your camera, or access to your contacts. That's basically the switch PHA is providing. So it has your information encrypted, and I also will show you in the video how you set it up on yourself. It's really easy to do. So you encrypt your information, and it allows the information to go out so the other companies can see it. So say, for example, you're integrating with Google for the analytics, seeing what they are, seeing who your customers are. It's allowing that information to go out there to grab it, but it's encrypted. So it gives you a sort of, or a few outputs after you put a set of inputs. So basically Facebook will have their own custom input code. It goes into the information and it spits an output code. And then that output code is from your ledger or from your device or from your wallet. It sends out that output code and it's able to be read through the Fala network blockchain when it integrates on the node onto the person's wallet. You can also explain it like this, a little more simpler. When you guys are interacting with MetaMask and you send a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, it goes to your ledger and then it says, hey, please approve the transaction. Go through your ledger, approve it, boom, it's approved. It sends a set of output keys that basically says it's approved. It doesn't give you the wallet address or everything or the private keys. It just says it's approved, sends it out, goes to Ethereum, you get your token swap, etc. Confusing, but guys, it's definitely needed in this network and in this ecosystem. I could see a lot of growth for this project. This isn't financial advice. It's just, hey, do you know how email works? Do you use email? Well, email is important. Okay. Well, maybe you should figure out how email works next time. Okay, anyways, let's play the video.
All right, in the section 2, I'm going to talk about the technology. I'm not going to dig too much into the details, but just give you a very brief idea of how we build Fala Network and what is the technology and what is the difference between us and other similar projects. So first of all, I'm going to introduce the core technology, which is TEE blockchain hybrid architecture. So we use this architecture to build confidential contract. And then I'm going to show you how we write a very simple smart contract by showing you a smart contract like ERC20, but it's actually more like generic assets in the substrate palette. And then I'm going to introduce how we can scale, how we make it scale with Polkadot. And finally, so the resources of our website. Okay, maybe most of the people are not familiar with TEE, so I'm going to introduce trusted execution environment. So unlike other projects who leveraging the zero knowledge proof or multi-party computing, we choose to use software and hardware together to solve the problem. So the hardware we're using is called trusted execution environment. It's an isolated area in CPU. Actually, it's not very how to say that? It's very common in most of the CPUs. So if you're using an Intel CPU after 2060, I guess your computer already has the TEE support. So what is a trusted execution environment? It's just like a black box. It's isolated from the other parts. So we can put our smart contract running in the black box. So nobody else can touch the data inside the TEE or try to manipulate the execution or the data inside the TEE. So with the TEE, of course, we can run smart contract and keeping the secrets. So everything in the TEE is encrypted. Even you're a hacker, you have hacked the operating systems or you hacked your hardware. You still cannot access the program inside the TEE because it's well isolated. But however, if you can just run something inside your own CPU, it's not fun at all, because we're going to use the TEE to run smart contract for all the users. So how can a user to make sure some execution results is actually produced by a TEE but not any malicious party? So this is there's something called remote attestation offered by the TEE. It allows a user to verify the TEE is actually a decent device. The TEE will have some pre-built secret inside the hardware. Nobody else can access to the secret, and it can be used to sign the payload as a proof to convince you something is running inside the TEE. But just a single TEE is not useful. We want to build a TEE network. So if you're using a single TEE, what if the TEE the computer hosting the TEE is shut down by the operator? So if we want to solve the availability problem as well as a few other problems by nature in the TEE, we need to use a blockchain. So the blockchain here, I'm not going to dig into all the details, but the blockchain here is just like Polkadot, the relay chain to the parachains. It helps the TEE network to establish a shared security among all the TEE nodes. and it can provide the timestamp service, and also it can serve as a availability layer for all the TEs. So basically, if you want to like run a smart contract on a TE, you first deploy the smart contract on our blockchain, and then the TE registered on the blockchain will try to pick up the smart contract and run it inside the TE. So how do we write a smart contract? So actually, it's very simple. So we write smart contract in Rust currently, but maybe in the future we will support all the language that can compile to WebAssembly. In the confidential smart contract, it's a bit different from the smart contract you are very familiar with, because it can keep secret, so not everyone can read the states. So the first kind of operation you can interact with confidential smart contract is called command. It can help. It can handle all the write operations. So here is an example. This example, as you can see, we have three commands: is issue, destroy, and transfer. So the issue command, by invoking issue command, you can create a new token, and the destroy command, you can remove a token, and also transfer, you can transfer some token from your account to another account. So in the issue command, the code is simplified a lot for the demo, but you can get the idea. First of all, we can create a new B tree map to store the balance for all the accounts, and then we will create a new metadata for our new assets, and it will set the owner as the origin, and it will set the total supply, the symbol, and also the asset ID, and we just insert it into the storage. And then it's query. This is the biggest difference between us and like Ethereum smart contract. On Ethereum, you can just access everything on blockchain because everything is transparent. But in Fala network, because we're building a confidential smart contract, everything is confidential by default. So if you want to let someone to access the data, you will need to define a few queries. So here we have three queries: is their balance, total supply, and metadata. So the total supply and metadata are accessible by everyone. So the code is very simple. It's just read the data from the states and reply it. But balance is not. Only the user of only the owner of an account can access his balance. So it's just like Monero or Zcash. You cannot read the balance of others' accounts. So in the first line of code under the balance query is to check the origin. So yeah, in Fala network, all the queries are also signed by your private key. So inside the query, we can know who is making the request. So if there's no origin, the query is not signed, it will just return an error, not authorized. And if the origin is not the owner of the current account you are query, it will also return not authorized. But after checking the authorization, it will respond to you the balance. So here we actually have a demo. This is the first proof of concept testnet of Fala network, and it's very simple. It's just a ERC20 like demo. You can access the demo at testnet.fala.network. It's public available. So here is the user interface. First of all, we need to select an identity. So here I use H4x proof of concept when test. I will need to unlock my account. All right. And in the setting page, you also say that besides the metadata of substrate, there are also the information of P runtime. That is a connection. It means a connection between you and the TE is established. It's end-to-end encrypted. And you will say the connection there is. You can say the latency of the connection, and you can say the runtime is initialized and is also synced to the blockchain. And of course, because the data is the connection is end-to-end encrypted, so we use the ECDH key agreement protocol to derive a secret. And here is the public key of the TE runtime, and here is the public key and private key of your local web page. And you can also check to derive the secrets. So let's issue a token. So to issue a token, I can just click create token. So I need to choose a name. So for example, Kusama. This is a fake Kusama. So the initial supply is 1 million. Okay, I will submit it. And as you can see, it's actually submitting an extrinsic to the blockchain. So so far, everything is still happening on blockchain. But the TE will read the commands from the blockchain and fetch it from the blockchain and process it in the TE runtime. So as you can see, the payload is encrypted. Okay, let me send the transaction. All right, it's finalized, but we still need one more block to get confirmed by the TE runtime. And then I can refresh the page. Oh, I still need to unlock my account because everything is end-to-end encrypted. So I need to unlock my account. All right. Okay, this is the token I just issued. It's 1 million. It's 1 million total supply. So I can check my balance. And of course, because I create this token, so I have all the token on in my account. And there's also another button which can be used to query the balance of Bob. So what will happen now? My selected identity is H4X POC1 test. I cannot check the balance of Bob. So if I click this, well, so I get not authorized, just like shown in the smart contract screenshot. But what if I change my identity to Bob? First of all, I think I need to send some token to Bob. Okay, let me just send 10 tokens. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to Bob, and let's check the balance of Bob. All right. Okay, so you can see Bob now has a balance of 10 tokens, and if you check the balance of yourself or check the balance of Bob, it works because now you are Bob, you are not anything else. If you change your identity to anyone else, you will also get not authorized if you check the balance for other people. Okay, so this is a very simple demo of Phala Network. And of course, we're going to build Web3 analytics, the backend on Phala Network. But the Phala Network is still in a very early stage, and we are planning to iterate a few rounds before we launch the mainnet. Currently, we have a working local testnet. You can access the testnet at testnet.phala.network. But in this configuration, there's only one node. There's one substrate node, and there's only one TE node. And actually, the TE node is also running in a simulation mode. But in the next few iterations, we're going to move to a more mature, more decentralized blockchain setup with MPOS, and also we're going to make the TE network decentralized. So after that, I think it will be okay to migrate Web3 analytics to Phala Network. Yeah, and I would also like to talk about the core difference between us and other TEE-based blockchain project. Just like the question, it was mentioned Enigma, and of course there are also other projects. To my knowledge, currently the state-of-the-art TEE blockchain is Oasis Lab, and Enigma is also a very good project, but none of them offer interoperability. So what is interoperability? Before that, I think I need to explain more how the smart contract is executed on Phala Network. So on Phala Network, the confidential contracts are running inside TEE. It's not run by a blockchain. The blockchain is just a relay layer, or the availability layer for the TEE network. Because the TEE is non-Byzantine, it means that the TEE will not cheat you. It will just it may be shut down, may lose the connection, but it will not perform anything malicious because everything is defined by the smart contract and is running inside the TEE. Nobody can control how the smart contract is executed. It will just run the contract as is. So because everything is non-Byzantine, we don't need to run smart contract on every TEE workers. So the good thing is that these TEE nodes can run their own smart contract in parallel. It means that we can scale up we can scale up linearly. So as long as you can have more TEE workers, you'll be able to run more confidential smart contract because it can just be running in parallel. But what happens if two smart contracts want to invoke each other? If you check the top 10 smart contract on Ethereum, you will know that 80% of the smart contract will interact with at least another smart contract, like read the states or invoke another smart contract. And this is called composability in Ethereum. In Ethereum, so actually the DeFi infrastructure is built in this way. So someone built the MakerDAO and someone built a Compound, and they depend on each other with interoperability between the different contracts. But in TEE-based blockchains, as far as we know, we are the only blockchain offer interoperability between the smart contracts. Because they're running in parallel, we need a blockchain to help organize the communication between different TEE workers. So we use a way very similar to Polkadot XAMP. So that's why we can also use the same technique to allow our confidential smart contract to interoperate with not just the smart contract on our platform, but also on other platforms through Polkadot. So by this way, we can scale up infinitely with Polkadot. So I think this is the biggest difference between us and Oasis Lab and Enigma, other blockchain projects. We achieve this by using a so-called read-write segregation trick. So if you're interested, maybe you can take a look at our technical white paper. We have everything described there, and we have already covered all the details there. All right, so that's all for the technical part. And at the end, I would like to say that we are building Web3 analytics and Phala Network because we want to make the world less trust and more truth, just like what is described in the Polkadot Light white paper. We hope that our infrastructure can not only help our own users, but also the entire Web3 ecosystem. We can help the Web3 ecosystem to dealing with privacy and the data. So okay, so this is Phala Network. And if you have more questions, just feel free to ask in the crowdcast. And you will also be you can also feel free to find us at our Telegram or our website. And of course, all the code is open source on our GitHub. Actually, we are a Web3 Foundation grant winner. So all the so far the development of Phala Network and the proof of concept of Phala Network is sponsored by Web3 Foundation. So you can check all the code is open source.
Hope you guys liked that video. Let's go and go over the token economics. Guys, this is a big or a heavy video, I know, for a lot of people, but it's a lot of information jam-packed, but you guys will take it in, I guess. If you don't want it, just change the video. So you can see the value captured by the Phala network is computing power, on-chain computing and storage resources, and off-chain storage resources. In this white paper, it will explain the rest of them if you want to read through it. Here are the different roles. You have the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is used to, well, it should be up 24/7 to manage the keys for miners, as a miner key is required to run confidential contracts. So yeah, Ethereum smart contracts, and Phala network is smart confidential contracts. So it allows that privacy. People underestimate how important privacy is. It's so important that the biggest companies in the world that offer free services actually are the biggest companies in the world, providing a free service by getting your data. That's how valuable it is. They monetized your data, and it's the most valuable resource in the world, obviously outside of time. So you have the governance token. You guys can read it. The consensus of Phala is similar to Polkadot. Phala applies the nominated proof of stake with the inflation model of Phala. Here's the economic inflation. So with the staking, so if you are mining, you are getting staking rewards as well. It's a 40% with a 12% rate. So if 40% is staked, then it's 12% interest. If it increases, the interest decreases. If the staking rate decreases, well, then the interest rate increases to encourage more people to stake on the platform, obviously providing more growth to the network, and hence a growing network equals, well, you know, a growing ecosystem. You guys can read through this white paper, do some more research. Basically, what you need to know is Phala is allowing you to interact or allow your private or your data to be private and still interact with the ecosystem. So yeah, you can't really interact with like Facebook and Google without giving information because they don't know who you are. So this allows you to do something similar to it, but it's more so looking to be like the Google Analytics, but privacy wise. So instead of giving all your data of all your customers, I mean, breaches and hacks happen all the time. This allows it to be more in-house and private. Let's go ahead and hit you guys with a wisdom one-liner. Guys, we're on laziness, man. Solomon is definitely hitting on this hard. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He's too lazy to bring it back to his mouth. Guys, don't be lazy. I mean, our past 3 videos were on laziness. Don't be lazy. If he's going to say it 4 times and he says it 5 times, 6 times, well, he's probably saying something. If you guys are new to cryptocurrency, don't know where to get started, don't know what to invest in, well, participate in the triple threat. The first thing, set up a Celsius account. This is for your savings. This is where you're going to store your cryptocurrency and you can earn interest. It can be up to 5%, 6%, 10%, and they even have some as high as 17%. Here's a referral link. Use this referral link in order to get 20 bucks in free Bitcoin. Part 2 of the triple threat is to get a Crypto.com. Crypto.com account is one of the best places, especially for a beginner, to buy cryptocurrencies, smaller altcoins. So now you have a savings account. Now you need to get a cryptocurrency wallet that allows you to buy those smaller altcoins like your Engine coin, your Raven coin, just like smaller alts, so you guys can participate in those big plays. My referral code is down here. If you use this, you'll get 25 bucks free. And the next one is Voyager. Voyager is awesome. There's a list of different cryptocurrencies you can use. What I like about Voyager in particular is you can actually make your next level up in buying cryptocurrencies. You can actually buy Bitcoin with a limit order. So you just hit buy Bitcoin, hit limit, and you type in how much you want. Boom, you're off to the races. So you don't have to watch it and make sure it's a good buy-in. Here's a referral code you guys can use to get some free cryptocurrency. This will allow you to get $25 for free. Can't beat free. And then obviously this is just a fun one, so you can get free cryptocurrency, is going on Lolly. You get a daily stack. All you do is you tap the treasure chest and you get free sats, and it's literally free. One of the days I literally got 20 bucks in free Bitcoin. Look, 101,000 sats. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell notification. That way you guys can be ahead of the game every time we make a new video.